A pleasant morning, everybody. A pleasant morning to you, sir. My name is Yurika Nichel G. Hamito, and I will be the first reporter of Group 5. Again, we are Group 5, and my members are Agni Razel, Dagum Cheryl, Mariana Cindy, Hamito Yurika, and Sioko Cristel. We were assigned to report Unit 5. And Unit 5 is all about global media cultures, globalization of religion, and global cities. Before anything else, we will play a video or a short clip to enforce your knowledge about our topic. So I hope you listen carefully and watch the video. Global media culture. What is global media? What is media? How new media affect culture? So what is global media culture? Well, global media means mass communication on a global level, allowing people across the world to share and access the same information. Media. What is media? The main means of mass media communication, broadcasting, publishing, and the internet. For example, newspaper, internet, and television. How about traditional media? Traditional media or old media include print media such as books, newspaper, magazine, journals, and etc. New media. Means of mass communication using digital technologies such as the internet. Here's how new media looks like compared to traditional media. Pre-industrial, industrial, electronic, digital. These are the stages of a revolution. Pre-industrial age is a time before there were machines and tools to help perform tasks en masse. Industrial age is defined by mass production, broadcasting the rise of nation-state power, modern medicine, and running water. The electronic age is where we currently live in. It can be defined as the time between 1940 and right now. This is the time where the first high-speed digital computer capable of being reprogrammed to solve a full range of computing problems were invented. Digital. The information age is defined as the time period starting in 1970s with the introduction of personal computer with subsequent technology introduced providing ability to transfer information freely and quickly. And that's how global media culture works. The globalization of religion. How globalization affect religion. Globalization is the networking and expansion of one's local products, beliefs, and practices into universal products, beliefs, and practices, often through technology. Religion is a collection of cultural systems, belief systems, and worldviews that establish symbols that relate humanity to spirituality and to moral values. These are most of the religions across the world. Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism. Tools of uniting people all over the world on religious basis. Books, movies, cell phone apps, social network, charity fund, special internet sites, religious school. Here are the positive effects of those tools. Promote social harmony, provide social change, give positive goal in life, provides moral values, explain the unknown, give people a sense of belonging. Conclusion. Globalization has a huge impact on religion as people and cultures move across the globe. As ideas are mobilized and transported by media technology, the religious globalization will go on and on. In fact, it has become so closely intertwined with each other, institutions such as political and economic systems, that religious beliefs sometimes became the basis of political legitimacy.
Global cities, the biggest future trend you've never heard of. Well, besides 4D printers, Google Gas, wireless clotheslines, and something called ploxing, whatever that is. There are several things you should know about global cities, starting with the fact that you're probably living in one. Nearly 1 billion people reside in 60 global cities. Although most global cities have large populations, size isn't all that matters. Let me explain. You know those giant keys cities give to heroes and celebrities? Fun fact, Saddam Hussein was handed the key to Detroit in the 1980s. Yeah, that happened. Anyway, here are some key facts to know about global cities. First, global cities drive the global economy. They are economic powerhouses with head offices, business services, legal and consulting expertise, exchanges, banks, and global corporations. Second, they drive connectivity. Major airports and solid transit infrastructure make global cities accessible. That helps attract tourists who, in Chicago, preserve our bean selfie industry and keep Navy Pier in business. Thirdly, global cities unlock knowledge through top educational institutions, consulates, think tanks, shameless plug, and international conferences, which in turn drives political engagement. The fourth reason global cities matter is because they are cultural capitals. Museums, symphonies, world-renowned restaurants, nightlife, sports, you name it, even ploxing. You can find your fix in a global city. Number 5, global cities are led by people who think globally and understand the importance of connecting local politics to world politics. Sometimes mayors solve problems that national leaders can't. Finally, global cities are open. Businesses, ideas, and people flow freely. They certainly don't put up walls, and if they do, it's probably part of some modern art exhibit representing the barriers we create within ourselves, within our own hearts. So there you have it. Hopefully you now have a better understanding of what global cities are and how they are poised to shape our world and our future. Thanks for watching.
Now that you have learned a portion about our topic, let's test the learnings of yours through a short activity. So brace yourselves and do your best. Well done, everybody! Now, without further ado, let's move on to my presentation global media culture. Gidivide ni siya into 4 guys. Ang first is define media. Ang ikaduha, types of media. Ikatulo, impact of media culture in globalization. And ang ikaupat, the responsibility of media consumption. First is define media. So, what is media? Media are the communication outlets or tools used to store and deliver information or data. In general, media refers to various means of communication. So, ang media daw kuno kay communication outlets siya. Kung mag-recall ta sa una, di ba tayo communication model? Tapos, under sa itong communication model, makita nato dito ang sender, channel or medium, and ang receiver. Media, in the other hand, na belong siya sa medium or channel. Kaya ginagamit man siya sa sender to disseminate information to its receivers. So again, media, ato ang inote na various means of communication. What are the examples of media na atay tulo ka buok nag-provide dire? First is newspaper. It gives information about current events and news. So, newspaper is mao siya ang media tungod kay ginagamit man siya sa medium or channel to disseminate information. Kung balikan nato ang communication model, ang sender din ani kay ang writer. Tapos, ang newspaper again is a medium or channel. Tapos, ang receiver, ang reader sa atong newspaper, which is ang mga locals or mga tao. Ikaduha na example is internet. In essence, it's a network system of globally interconnected computer system that is available to everyone. Yes, available siya sa everyone, pero it is not free. Internet is so broad. Kay daghan kini siya under, di ba? Websites, social media platforms, sa mga blogs and everything. So, ang internet as a whole is used to disseminate also information sa ato ang mga receivers in mass. Kay Gavi kani siya ka-convenient. Why? Because ang isa ka sender maka-use siya ani to send it to multiple receivers niya. The third one is television, a system for transmitting visual images and sounds that are reproduced on screen, chiefly used to broadcast entertainment and information. Ang television kay transmitting visual images daw ni siya, pre-recorded ni siya, and again, media ni siya tungod kay ginagamit ni siya to disseminate information. Balikan na sad nato ang communication model in a news perspective. Ang ato ang sender kay ang broadcaster. Ang television mo ni siya ang ginagamit to disseminate information, which is ang medium nato siya and channel. Tapos atong receiver, ang audience na nagtanaw sa television. So, nga na lang siya ka-simple, no? Ang example sa media. The next is types of media. Naaday tay duha ka type of media. Ang first kay traditional media. Traditional media includes print media such as books, newspapers, magazines, newsletters, scholarly journals, pamphlets, flyers, broadsiders, billboards, etc. They are also radio, television, movies, CDs, DVDs, and video recordings. So, ang traditional media daw kuno kay more on siya sa print media, di ba? Kay sa una dili pa man ka advance ang ato ang form of media. That is why ang pag-disseminate sa sender sa una kay through printed materials. That is why nag-exist na ang newspapers, magazines, journals, and ana. Pero included daw kuno dire ang radio, television, movies, and CDs. Kay kato lang siyang mga old version bitaw, dili siya para sa ato ang karon na flat screen and all. Then kato ni siyang dako, Then, ang radio, kato ni siya mga gagmay na igo na siya makakuha signal para matingog ang radio. Ang ikaduha na type is new media. It is evident na muna siya ang ginagamit nato karon, di ba, no? Means of mass communication using digital technologies such as internet, telephones, computer, social media, and mobile phones. Ang new media, again, is mo itong ginagamit karon sa modern times. Grabe kay pud ni siya ka-convenient, kaya di ba na-apil man ng internet diri, kay ang isa ka sender, gamiton niya ni new media or kaning digital technologies para ma-disseminate og information sa multiple na receivers. Ang nakalahi lang ani niya sa traditional media kay ang iyang use ani kay digital technologies and masend nato or ma-disseminate nato information in mass. Whereas sa traditional media, pwede man nato siya ma-disseminate in mass pero more on siya sa printed materials. Additional na lang po din to ang mga televisions and radios and more. Next is impact of media culture in globalization. The phenomenon of cultural imperialism raises concerns in many countries where people fear that their culture gets diluted or given a backseat to the demands of the large media and corporate interests in the name of globalization, where products and imagery, mainly from the West, makes it into the television and homes of people. Diba, kabalumanta na ang media and globalization, mo siya ang rason nga no more interconnected towards each other, bisan asa pa man kamalukit sa world, isa po siya sa rason nga no naatay cultural imperialism. Because, kay tungod, kay kabalumanta unsay gakahitabo sa world, kabalota unsa ang gauna, unsa ang standardized, which is ang West yun mainly. And tungod ana, give you nato ang Western culture as more dominant than sa atong own na culture. And then, gina-neglect nato ang own culture na mauunta ang nag-represent sa atuang identity. Mao na siya ang rason nga nung naging concern siya in many countries. Kay we tend to become or we tend to desire being up to date. So, sila man ang set og standard and gusto ta mabilong, therefore, nag-adapt ta sa ilahang culture. The fear of many people is that if people around the world are molded into model consumers following a Western standard, then it is easier for large companies to sell their products and know their buyers' habits and etc., while eroding local cultures and tradition. So, isa gani siya ka sa concern sa daghan ng mga tao, no? Kay, lagi, if people around the world i-mold into model consumer naga-follow og Western na standard, it is an advantage for this large corporation kay kabaluman sila unsa ilahang isa sa global market to make profit out of it. Maapektuhan na sa dayon na nga to ang mga local businesses naga-promote sa ilahang culture and tradition kay i-take advantage man sila aning mga large companies tungod sa globalization. There is often extensive debate as to how likely this will be, whether local cultures and traditions will exert their influence on local forms of globalization or if there will be a more extremist backlash. In different parts of the world, many of these and other reactions are already seen. So, isa do ka extensive na debate, no, on how likely this will affect ang world, ang kaning globalization. And whether do ko no, if ang local culture and traditions kaya ato na lang i-exert influence sa local forms of globalization or naay extreme backlash na ato ang ma-receive. Kaya nga naman nato, gina-encourage ang uban na culture and traditions kung naaman tayo atong own na culture and tradition. So, daghan na kaayo sa different parts of the world nag-concern about ani. And many are not sang-ayon sa ani ng mga changes. The fourth one and the last one is the responsibility of media consumption. Under ani, naatay ginatawag na media literacy.
So, what is media literacy? Is the ability to access, analyze, evaluate, and create media in a variety of forms. Isa daw ni siya ka capability sa isa ka individual in terms sa iyang knowledge and skills in dealing with media. In accessing the kono, evaluating, analyzing, and creating media in different forms. Understanding how to consume media responsibly is rightfully important for the future, and for every consumer needs to know how to intake the information that is given from it and how to handle it in a proper manner. Since daghan man gid kaayo tagapuyo diri sa kalibutan, no? Then we use yun media to disseminate information. Dili gyud nato ma-avoid na there are bad content and good content sa media. That is why kinahanglan responsible ta in consuming information from the media. So, unsaon day nato para ma-responsible ta in consuming information sa media? Below are the things you need to practice for you to be responsible in social media. Ang first kay, check the sources. So, ang first daw nato kung buhaton kung kuan ta og content, maka-encounter ta og content, kay ato gyung i-check ang iyahang source. Kung legit pa gyud siya or scam ra siya, kung authentic, reliable, and credible ba ang iyahang source, kung mag-state siya diha og iyahang mga argument, di ba? Ang ikaduha kay check your biases. Sa akong natun-an sa una sa readings namo, according to Gottschalk, people are without biases. So, it is important na i-acknowledge yun nimo ang imuhang biases kay diha ka makasabot nga no you responded or reacted in such a way when naka-encounter kag isa ka content. Ang ikatulo is check the bias of the publication. Since again, people are without biases, dili lang kay imuhang biases ang imuhang i-check. Ang katong content creator pod ang imuhang i-check iyang biases. Ngano ing ana na content ang iyahang gi-disseminate sa media tungod tali kay na siya ingani na biases. Na siya ingani na biases tungod kay naka-experience siya og mga butang na interrelated ato na content. Ang fourth one is think twice before you share or before you click. Diba? Kay, again, dili raman kita ang tao sa kalibutan, din dili ra pod kita ang use sa media, kinahanglan pod na maging responsible ta sa ato ang mga content na gina-share. Maybe tungod kay naatay mga younger audience sa ato ang maybe social media nagatan-aw sa ato or ga-look up sa ato. Dapat responsible pod ta sa ato ang gina-share. Kay ma-influence man gyud to ang nag-view sa content natong gi-share. And mao to siya ang nag-reflect sa unsa atong beliefs, values ug unsa ang mga butang na ato ang nga-experience sa life or ato ang gina-encourage or gina-manifest sa ato ang kinabuhi. So maora to siya ang sulod sa global media culture, no? Ang definition sa media, ang types of media, ang impact of media culture in globalization, and the responsibility of media consumption.
Our next topic is the globalization of religion. So what is religion? Oli Preben Rees in Methodology in the Sociology of Religion define religion as worldview, an ideology, an organization, an attitude, a set of values, as moods and motivations, or as an ethical disposition. Religion is a system of beliefs and practices. It comes from the Latin word religare, which means to bind together again that which was once bound but has since been torn apart or broken. Religion has been a vehicle and an instrument in the process of globalization. Defining religion is a useful epistemological exercise and would help us in clarifying ambiguous concepts. We can then explore the relationship of religion with globalization and how globalization changes religion. The relationship between globalization and religion. Globalization allows for religions previously isolated from one another to now have regular contact and unavailable contact. As a result, globalization brings to the light the fact that since religions have similar values, not one of them is correct and therefore can be changed. The relationship between globalization and religion is one with the new possibilities and furthering challenges. While religion takes advantage of communication and transportation technology, it is at the same time the source of globalization's greatest resistance by acting as a haven for those standing in opposition to its power. Because globalization allows for daily contact, religions enter a circle of conflict in which religions become more self conscious of themselves as being world religions. The relationship between globalization and religion is one with new possibilities and furthering challenges. So, what are the new possibilities? Globalization brings a culture of pluralism, meaning religions with overlapping but distinctive ethics and interest interact with one another. Religions maintain the golden rule: what you do not wish done to yourself, do not do to others. Essentially, the world's leading religious traditions are Hinduism, Buddhism, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam teach values such as human dignity, equality, freedom, peace, and solidarity. More specifically, they maintain the golden rule: what you do not wish done to yourself, do not do to others. Therefore, through such religious values, globalization engenders greater tolerance in such areas as politics, economics, and society. And lastly, religion benefited a lot from technological developments. For instance, the internet and mass media have provided an exchange of information on different religions to any parts of the world. It also serves as an opportunity to communicate with others, which allow religious doctrines and ideas to spread around the globe. And lastly, many religions of major countries have grown financially, providing more financial resources for religions to spread their belief. Next, the new challenges of the globalization of religion. First, globalization breaks down traditional communities and replaces them with larger and impersonal organizations. As globalization creates a global village, it dramatically alters what individuals traditionally understood themselves by citizenship, nationality, and immigration. For instance, the European Union does not call their members by country of origin, but rather by their greater title, European citizens. Moreover, such organizations set universal standards upon all members, causing individuals to believe that they are not fairly represented. As a result, feeling that these organizations have shattered their protective cocoon that has shielded them in the past, many individuals find comfort in religion. Second, globalization brings economic marginalization. For example, as transnational corporations increasingly take over the role of the state's involvement in the economic sector, the government loses its status as well as welfare provider. Moreover, increasing the gaps between those who have benefit from the global market and those who have been left behind, globalization is seen as Western imperialism as well as Americanization. And lastly, globalization causes mental stress. Although globalization allows for crisscrossing borders, it also leaves individuals worrying about losing work, status, or other privileges. Moreover, since globalization favors material prosperity as the aim of life over inner peace, individuals focus on attaining some material possession such as a house, car, game, or simply any object. When they attain such items, however, they find themselves empty inside and therefore realize that inner peace can never be achieved through material possessions.
Globalization and religion. Religion and globalization have always shared a relation of struggle and conflict, while globalization has generally been linked with economic and political interdependence, which ultimately brought people closer. It also has shifted the cultural build-up of the world that led to the formation of a global culture. The distinct norms, different cultures, and different worshipping ways and practices will be wiped out by globalization which promotes homogeneity, referred to as worldwide cultures becoming similar. Moreover, human rights are becoming the main issue in the global world concerning the status of women and ritual killings and human sacrifice. Globalization may have also implied on the faith in the following three possible impacts. 1. Religion is being eroded. 2. Religion is being strengthened. And 3. Religion is declining but it has developed new identities of hybridity. What is religion's fundamentalism? Religion's fundamentalism is best explained as 1. A religious phenomenon. Religion is very essential as ideology, ethos, goals, leadership of fundamentalism are founded and built on religious beliefs and practices. 2. A reaction to and cultural changes which are experienced as a dramatic crisis so that it differs from traditionalism. And 3. A defensive reaction which attempts to preserve or restore an idealized or imagined former social order which is characterized by a strict patriarchal order and moralism. Essentially, all religions teach these shared principles of love, patience, peace, justice, and equality. The spread of religion versus secularization. Secularization is best explained as disassociation or separation from religion or spiritual concerns. The inner nature of religions and the purpose to be embraced and practiced by people all over the world prompts it to spread throughout all the world's geographical spaces. In order to emerge and spread, therefore, religions make good use of the technologies of globalization. Having geographical boundaries and frontiers blurred and dissolved religions find it easy to spread and reach every part of the world. In the process of cultural exchange around the globe, a peaceful relationship involves methods for mutual trust, namely government, summit meeting, and IGOs, or more communications, economy, trade relation, or interests by cooperation, and lastly, the society, the role of NGO, or mediator between civilizations. Each religion has secularized in its own distinctive way, which has resulted in its own distinctive secular outcome. Even if globalization increases secularization, it does not bring one common worldview. Is secularization a consequence of globalization? Let us analyze in the following table. In the modernist, all secularizations would look alike ending up as same rational philosophy. Enlightenment and secularization spreads from educated elite to other people, whereas other religious communities are marginal. Globalization will eliminate minorities in secularization. Religious movements mean useful corrections to distorted modernization but will disappear after their temporary rule. Modernists wish all churches to disappear having religious fundamentalism as main enemy. While in postmodernism, traditional pre-modern religions are rejected. Core value is expressive individualism, rejecting also enlightenment, rationalism, science, and structures of capitalism, even liberalism. It can include spiritual experiences, whereas the New Age movement can be interpreted as the ideal typical postmodernist spiritual expression. Postmodernism is largely hypersecularism and joins modernism in predicting and eagerly anticipating the disappearance of traditional religions. In premodernism, Only in organized religious communities people were willing to sacrifice their individual security for the greater movement. Religious faith and community made them courageous, and persistent in their opposition. As new ideology, human rights are seen as the rights of individuals independent of any hierarchy or community, traditions or customs, anywhere in the world as universal. To conclude, the bottom line is that the pieces of inter-religions dialogue to manage religions diversity and to avoid violence are there. But the problem may be of globalization's intentional and or unintentional consequence of making religions more conscious of themselves as a world religions, as well as the undesirable consequences of disrupting traditional communities, causing economic marginalization and bringing individuals mental stress or reinforcing religion's cultural characteristics and identities. Hence, the relationship between religion and globalization has brought new possibilities but also furthering challenges. According to Mahler's view of religion and globalization include 1. Different religion is one of important elements making different culture. 2. Ignorance and repulsion on different culture make conflicts. And 3. Communication and understanding other culture is important for peace. In a time in which globalization has yet to fully complete its process, religions must use the communication easily available through advanced technology to focus more on the humane and pluralistic forms of their teachings, values such as human dignity and human freedom, as means to manage religion's diversity and avoid violence. In other words, religions should be open to other traditions and what they can teach. In fact, though having fixed texts, the major world religions do not have fixed beliefs, only fixed interpretations of those beliefs, meaning their beliefs can be rediscovered, reinvented, and reconceptualized.